I am not one of your fans!
So, you're really an 80's fan.
Beg your pardon?
Okay, Benson, here's some more stuff for you.
You're serious, aren't you?
Terrific.
It's I Love the 80's Strikes Back, and this is 1981 again. The flicks, the fashions, the trends, the tunes, the TV.
Darling?
Don't worry, darling.
Can you let it down a little more, darling?
A totally awesome year that gave us even more burning questions. Who was Smurfing who in Smurf Village?
Hey, I smurfed her first. Oh, I did.
Why were women freaking over this guy?
He would always open the door for her or remove his hat before burning her with his crack pipe.
And who's nastier, Alexis or Crystal?
Ooh, what America wants to see is Linda Evans and Joan Collins fighting like bitches.
Plus,
I said hold it.
crime-fighting millionaires. And Brooke in the buff.
But I think those are fake breasts, like somebody else's. Stand-ins.
Really? Stunt breasts.
Stunt breasts.
Because you can't get enough 80's, because you're still kicking it in your jellies. Admit it, this is 1981 Strikes Back.
Yeah, that was a big influence on my life.
Rich people humping each other. That's all those shows were.
That was like the first TV show that actually used the word bitch.
You bitch! You rotten bitch!
It was like a phenomenon.
Everything was like just diamonds and glitz. It was like a gay man's wet dream.
Crystal Carrington, Linda Evans, sweet but strong, you know. She had the wing bangs going.
Crystal Carrington, correct me if I'm wrong, but she seemed like kind of a ninny. I didn't hurt anybody, did I? I don't think she could stand up to Alexis. Alexis will kick your ass.
There's a bitch girl, and it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway.
Joan Collins played Alexis Colby. Alexis Carrington, Colby Dexter.
The ultimate evil person. I don't care about this pile of bricks and mortar, and I don't care about Denver Carrington.
She was just a walking terror.
What made Dynasty work was the catfights.
Sammy Joe.
Two glamorous women just thrashing it out.
What are you doing? Are you crazy?
It was cool to see perfectly composed, sophisticated women just getting down and dirty, slapping the out of each other.
Chicks like flying and claws out and hair being pulled.
The one thing I noticed about that was that their hair never got mixed up. I think there was a trick to all that stuff.
Ooh, what America wants to see is Linda Evans and Joan Collins fighting like bitches. There was a lot of screams like that from the ladies.
Oh, my goodness. I just thought, what's next? After this, what else can you do?
If you want a rematch, just whistle. If you can.
I love 81.
There were no other cartoons like the Smurfs. If you didn't watch that show, there was something wrong with you.
Step back and hold your Smurfs!
They were like funky, man. They must have been on like mushrooms or peyote or something like that. Where did the Smurfs come from?
Smurfs originally come from France, where they are referred to as les Schtroumpfs.
Smurfs were my favorite. I had a Smurf tray, Smurf sleeping bag, Smurf plate, Smurf cups. I had Smurf everything.
There's pretty much a Smurf for anything you can think of.
I'm backhand Smurf.
So this Smurf is drinking.
This is piss tank Smurf.
Pagan fertility rite Smurf.
There's nothing you can't be if you only Smurf hard enough.
They had their own Smurf language.
Do you have to keep Smurfing all night?
Dude, What the Smurf is going on here?
I will now introduce the new and improved Smurfette.
Hello, boy.
Smurfs were very sexist. There was only one girl.
Hello, Smurfette. Now that's more like.
Everybody liked Smurfette.
And she was hot.
Smurfs for the Smurfette. Hey, I Smurf her first. All I did.
I just realized that is so true. A village, all these guys, and one girl.
We're in for a treat.
For my next vacation, I'm going to Smurf Town.
Oh, I hate Smurfs.
Remember Gargamel? That was my man, Gargamel.
I must capture those Smurfs and put an end to all that happiness.
This guy who was always trying to get rid of them like they were a cockroach problem.
And the cat, Azrael.
I love the Smurfs. They bring me so much joy.
A lot of other stuff in the 80s I really fought to forget. Smurfs stay with me forever.
Je t'aime les Schtroumpfs.
Awesome. Oh man, Journey Escape, awesome record.
Oh, Journey, look at me. I'm grabbing my stomach.
Journey sucks, you suck.
I just am a singer doing the best I can, and if you like it, gosh, that's great. And you know, if you don't, that's okay too.
They wrote like the biggest, sappiest, catchy ballads. Open Arms. God, every single dance that I went to as a kid, that was like the slow song.
Not being a Journey fan, you know, I wouldn't know any of that. Oh, there goes my stomach again.
Is there a day that goes by where that song isn't running a constant loop in my head?
Those were anthems for me when I was young. I had severe scoliosis and polio, and my big dream was to win an Olympic gold medal in the 10,000 meters. And I would pull myself with my braces, and I would crank it up. Don't stop believing. I'm like, I can do it, Steve, because you've given me the strength to do it.
Steve Perry has a great voice. Not an attractive man, per se.
He really walked that line between rock star and total cheesehead. But he walked it brilliantly.
They had a video game.
You must help each member of Journey escape through mobs of love-crazed groupies. Shifty-eyed promoters.
Some might have called them geeks. They didn't care.
He sold their soul to the devil, and he gave them those chord progressions and that melody. That was it. You know, it was all over.
Don't stop. I love 81.
Who forgets on Golden Pond? It was Henry Fonda's farewell. He acted with his daughter. Katharine Hepburn was in it.
My knight in shining armor.
Shining armor.
One of those things I'm like, really? Are we really going to go on Golden Pond? Because isn't Jaws or something playing?
Henry Fonda and Katharine Hepburn, getting older, they go to their same lake home. Ooh,
The loons. The loons. They're welcoming us back.
Norman Thayer, the character played by Henry Fonda, is really kind of unlikable.
What do you mean?
He's really annoyed at getting older.
I think it's funny being old. Sometimes I can't even go to the bathroom when I want to. But I'm still a man, let me tell you, and I can take on both you punks.
And then poor palsied Katharine Hepburn was like the codependent, like caretaker.
I just remember when Katharine Hepburn called him an old poop.
Summer's at the door.
It's me.
You old poop. Old people are so honest. They're like little kids. Because he was probably wearing an adult diaper at the time.
Boy, it's good to see you. You held up good.
Jane Fonda was there kind of to sex it up.
She's a sexy broad. I say that as a staunch feminist. Jane Fonda, you're one sexy broad.
Hey, don't go away. It's not just old people. Jane in the water.
She should do like exercise videos.
Nothing to it.
I know it, boys.
What a cast. And that kid. Hey, guess what? I'm in a movie with Henry Fonda, Katharine Hepburn, and Jane Fonda. My career's made.
It's bullshit.
Sorry.
What does one do for recreation when one is 13 and not at school?
Suck face.
Beg your pardon?
I blame that movie for bringing suckface into the lexicon.
Want to dance? Or would you rather just suck face?
You're like watching it going, are they trying to make the point that old people still have sex?
I hope you're prepared to massage my bent back this evening.
With pleasure.
Is that what they're doing?
I think on Golden Pond said, hey, old people are people too. And they can have a big opening weekend. How about that?
That was good times.
Nothing like a little Billy Squire and your Cadillac Eldorado. Yeah.
Billy Squires' Stroke. That was a great song.
Stroke me, stroke me. Say you're a winner and baby, just a sinner now.
Hey, chicks, you guys want to cruise or what? The Stroke video was on fire, dude. It was very performance-based. Billy Squire going out and doing his thing.
I thought he was really cool, and then I saw him walk. He walked like a runway model. I mean, it was something that just turned me off that day.
All we need is some more Billy Squire. Turn it up. A little confusing on the lyrics. Kind of ambiguous.
I still don't know what stroke, what it means.
Right in my face. What do you want in my face? What? I don't want that in my face.
What does it mean?
Let's see. God gave him 2 good hands. That's all I can think of. I don't know. I have a dirty mind now.
I'm sure he did a lot of that.
Chunka down. Give a handshake.
Dude, you should have just called it jerk off, and you know I probably would have liked that.
Stroke me, Billy. Please.
Coming up, Benson breaks new ground.
Robert Diam was the first black male lead of a truly show. And that meant a lot to me as a black entertainer who likes
Plus, the Rolling Stones kick off in Philly.
Yeah, everybody thought, you're going to go see the Stones? Could be their last time. It could be it.
And Fernando Valenzuela delivers the heat.
When he threw that fastball, women fainted, men applauded. Cy Young stood up from his grave and said thank you. Or rather, gracias.
Next on I Love the 80s Strikes Back, 1981. Now for Donald Logue's unfinished thoughts on Journey.
I met Neil Schon at a bar once after Journey had broken up. And this guy was like, Neil Schon, you should be called Neil Schlong, dude. And he goes, yeah, man, I'm not too tall, but I got a huge Well, why didn't you say so, bro? Whip it out. Come on, let's go hook up with some chicks.
Songs of 1981.
Because This Boy Too has Love Without a Reason, I, Boy George, console you with the breakup songs of 1981. Since You're Gone by the Cars. Don't You Want Me Baby by the Human League. And the breakup song by Greg Kinn. The breakup songs of 81. Aren't you prepared to let go now?
Well, what are you going to do now? Jump out of the window?
If he comes in here, he'll kill me.
Then we'll die together. We were all real excited about seeing Endless Love.
One of the most over-the-top movies about young love and obsession.
I know you still love me. I expected an after-school movie, maybe about first sex. No.
My mother would never let me see a movie like that.
I thought I was like breaking the law and I was going to go to hell.
Brooke Shields and Martin Hewitt were the lovers.
Let me take my blast off.
All I thought about with that movie was breasts. But I think those were fake breasts, like somebody else's stand-ins.
Really?
Yeah.
Stunt breasts.
Stunt breasts.
Yeah. That was Brooke Fields. Kim Fields, actually, from actual life.
I'm in favor of any film featuring a pubescent and Brooke Shields getting it on. That's a good movie by my standards. Granted, I went to film school.
The one thing you want when that's happening is your mom watching.
That's a little too much family love for me.
She looks away like I shouldn't, and then she's just like, I just can't but not look.
It's my little girl. There's a dude on top of her, but there she is.
End of the love. Mama says no.
My mom would say, don't make too much noise. Why don't you put on a little music on?
My love.
There's only you in my life. I found in you my endless love.
James Spader shows up to play the bad guy, as usual.
Just because you're my sister doesn't make you part of the family.
The corollary to that is just because I'm my sister doesn't mean I'm part of the family.
You see a young Tom Cruise making his first appearance in a picture.
I ever tell you guys? 8 years old and I was into RC.
Wearing tiny little denim hot pants.
It's like, ooh, you're giving yourself a little wedgie.
Endless Love to me was always Romeo and Juliet meets Towering Inferno. Every Romeo has a different idea of how to impress his Juliet. Martin's idea is to burn down her house.
Note to the kids out there, arson is not the way to win someone's heart.
There's so many other crimes besides arson that will help you win someone's love. Larceny is a good one. Chicks dig larceny.
Then you end up in a mental institution. Was it worth it? Hell no, you get smoke inhalation. You lost all your Smurf dolls in that fire. Come on, really, was it worth it for a chick?
Where is he? Ever since Hawaii 5-0 shut down, crime has just been rampant on the island.
Who's there to fight crime in Hawaii but Magnum P.I.?
What can I do for you?
Magnum P.I. was a psychic detective. And he would have a little voice in his head that would tell him what to do.
Unfortunately, the little voice didn't shut up.
That's some psychological.
Tom Selleck was the ultimate manly man.
He was the James Bond of TV.
Probably the only private investigator who ever wore jams.
That's exactly correct.
We were not a big supporter of Tom because he intimidated us.
He's gorgeous and luscious.
He was always smooth with the ladies.
From what I could tell, Magnum was getting more ass than a rental car.
Terrific.
It was like, God, please don't let him ever come around here because we will never, never, ever see any of our girls again.
Housewives and gay men love Tom Selleck.
Why would she think that?
This was a very sexually free time. Back then, you didn't have to be queer to wear a mustache like that. It helped, though.
Well, you really dug deep.
Everything they did was designed to set him up so he looked like a member of the Village People.
I want to clear up that rumor about Selleck being gay by saying it's just a rumor, and that all rumors are true.
Rick James is one dope.
She's a very kinky girl.
The time you won't take home to mother. Clap your hand.
Everyone wanted to be a super freak, so we would all get on the dance floor and freak, whatever that might be.
We used to cut the beginning of the record up all the time. Hey! Just cut it up.
Super freak, she's super freaky, yeah.
Rick James knew how to treat a lady. He would always open the door for her or remove his hat before burning her with his crack pipe.
When I'd see the video, I'd always think, glitter is no fun to get in your eye. Rick James had one of those wigs.
He's got his hair cut like Donna Summer.
But that was the look back then. Today, man, would be looking mad with that.
He really was a super freak.
Iron-on decals. Oh, my God. You're bringing me back.
I was the king of iron-on decals.
It allowed you to be yourself. It allowed you to show an expression.
Put them on a T-shirt, you know, put them on your pants, put them on your girls. That hurts though.
There was the AC/DC iron-on.
The ones that were very popular with me and my friends were like rainbows and like kitties and things like that.
I remember Scott Baio kind of cornered the iron-on market for a while. Not in my dresser, but somebody's.
I wanted to get this one iron-on that was a bullseye, but since we lived in a hunting area, that my parents thought that was a bad idea.
They used to have iron-on decal stores.
You would choose amongst the hundreds of decals.
They'd lay it down, they'd line it up, and then they'd bring down the big thing. 15 seconds, peel off the paper. Oh, it's not done yet. Could you put a star on each arm, please?
And the thing is, the minute you washed it, it started peeling off.
Instead of saying Iron Maiden, it would say Ron Maiden. And you're like, oh, man.
And your shirt would look like the skin of a Shar-Pei. It would just become all wrinkled and rolly.
What a piece of
The hip-hop jam of 1981.
As we go, a little something like this. Hit it. What's up, y'all? This is Doug E. Fresh, and I'm still here with you. Tell me if y'all know this one. To the girl in brown, stop messing around. See, that's my man, Curtis Blow. And these are the breaks. Break it up, break it up, break it up. The hip-hop classic of 1981 is the breaks, all right?
Yeah, Jody, this is Fall Guy.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell.
Oh, the Fall Guy.
Loved it, watched it like a religion.
The Fall Guy is a stunt man by day, a bounty hunter by night.
It's me, Cole Sears, your friendly neighborhood bounty hunter. What kind of person does that? A hunter named Lee Majors. Part-time stuntman, part-time bounty hunter, full-time stud.
It makes Eastwood look so fine.
Every kid my age was jumping off the roof of their house trying to be a stuntman.
That was far and away the most exciting stunt I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, well, it felt pretty good.
Here's the amazing thing about the Fall Guy. It's the story of a stunt guy
And Lee Majors used a stunt guy to do all of his stunts.
Well, you think it was me?
What's that? What, huh?
I remember when that girl, the blonde, showed up in a bikini.
Who's that?
Me.
Heather Thomas. God bless that body.
Heather Thomas was like the poor man's Heather Locklear before we even knew who Heather Locklear really was. The 80s were a period of really hot Heathers.
He was waiting for him to do some bionic and he never did it.
It would have been good if when the fall guy was doing a stunt, perhaps, we had heard the $6 million sound effect. I'm going to capture this fugitive. Oh, hey, God.
If I worked on that show, I'd have been fired in a week. I would have gone, here's your coffee, Mr. Majors.
You are a $6 million man, and that's all that you're worth. You fell off, Mr. Fall Guy.
The Stones are kicking off their 1981 North American tour here in Philadelphia.
Tattoo You was the Stones' biggest tour to date. Mick and company were entering their 5th decade.
Yeah, everybody thought. You're gonna go see the Stones? Could be their last time. It could be it.
We hope this is the first of many and long and future tours of America that we do.
I went to the Tattoo You concert in San Francisco, and for some reason I developed a crush on Keith Richards.
Keith Richards was really just starting to decompose.
What was I thinking?
Mick was sporting these spandex white pants, and he had the leg warmers on.
I've got womanly legs myself, but they look like Schwarzenegger's compared to Mick's.
But he just was sexy and vulgar, and he would just run around and act outrageous on stage.
It's hard to imagine all that energy came out of this little guy.
As a woman, I would think to myself, I bet he's really, really good at cunnilingus.
Start Me Up. How great is that song?
It's the song that became popular for every trade show video. When they're showing things like how to sell computer software. Start me up! Hi, welcome to the world of computer software.
I'm sure we'll be talking about the Stones in 2012.
They just seem like they're going to play until they die. I mean, literally. They're playing and then they die.
They're the greatest band in the world. They're better than your band, and your band, and your band. And they're older than your parents. So, you.
This season's great character is a young fellow named Fernando Valenzuela. He is a pitcher with the Los Angeles Dodgers who is having an awesomely successful season.
Fernando Mania, 1981.
Los Angeles is a city to get wrapped up in a sensation, and Fernando was it that year.
Everybody was wearing Fernando on the back of their shirt.
He was the only Mexican starting pitcher in the major leagues at the time, and he was playing in Los Angeles, which has a very large Mexican community.
Sí, claro, y además, pues, digamos. Never learned to speak English. He was so good he didn't have to.
His catcher had to learn to speak Spanish because they couldn't figure out the signals.
He just had a very unorthodox delivery.
He'd just bring the ball up like this and look straight up. You knew something was coming.
He was looking up to God, saying, yo, if I don't strike this fool out, I might lose my career.
I was really impressed with a guy that had that kind of body could throw a ball like that. I'm serious. Like, what the hell am I doing wrong?
Give me Fernando any day. I want a guy I can have a taco with after he beat the Yankees, you know?
There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando.
The one thing I just didn't understand about Fernando Mania is why women thought he was hot.
When he threw that fastball, women fainted, men applauded. Cy Young stood up from his grave and said thank you. Or rather, gracias.
Get out.
Two people that came down here to commit murder are dead. And the victim is alive.
Sort of narrows down the suspects, doesn't it?
Art to Hire is definitely one of the better concepts ever invented.
Now you're talking about TV.
A millionaire and his wife decide they're detectives and they're going to help solve crimes.
And they have a manservant who does their bidding.
Where is Max?
Max's claim to fame was narrating the open.
This is my boss, Jonathan Hart.
I'd do anything for Mr. H.
And his line, Mrs. Hart, she's gorgeous.
He wasn't just a butler. He was a butler.
Heart to Heart elevated people's idea what a relationship could be.
They were so glamorous and so beautiful and sort of leading this fabulous life, which I would never be leading.
I didn't get those guys. How the hell are you going to have all that money and go private investigating?
They have the leisure time with which to, for their pleasure, solve crime.
It always seemed that whenever they just wanted to go out and have a good time as husband and wife, the crime would find them.
I said, hold it.
Jonathan and Jennifer walked through the park. They stopped to have a lovely big smackaroo, and out of the tree falls a dead body. Jonathan reaches down to examine this poor thing. That was a kind of heart-to-heart situation.
You're the best mate a guy could have.
Oh, well, thank you.
I just loved their relationship.
We better get changed for dinner, darling.
Half the script was darling.
Darling?
Don't worry, darling.
Can you let it down a little more, darling?
It's kind of goes, shut up!
I liked them. They always solved the case.
That's the way it works with successful people like the Harts and myself. Time after time, we're coming across murders. We have to solve them before lunch.
Oh, somebody got killed? Oh, that's too bad. Call the police.
I love 81.
It seems as if all of a sudden Benetton sportswear stores are everywhere.
Before Fargo, North Dakota had a Gap, it had a Benetton. Go figure.
I was a Benetton girl.
I think of Benetton and I think of like snotty rich sweaters. I remember Benetton being very colorful. You know, pink and green and red and all these bright, outrageous colors.
Benetton is versatile sportswear.
Benetton clothes were always ill-fitting. It was all like, you know, one thing was up here and was down here, and like, do I look cool? Like, yeah, you look great.
It was like, you know, European sizes. So like everything was that big.
All made from the best quality wools and cottons.
The girl who wore Benetton was first and foremost the girl whose parents had the money to buy her the $40 shirt.
Oh, I had this very cool friend who only shopped at Benetton. Oh my gosh, I wish I could have afforded Benetton.
Charlotte USA. Some could say that Benetton, the message, overrode the clothes. They had those crazy-ass multiculti kids in those ads. I'm pierced. I'm a lesbian. I have a big fro. Let's make out.
By wearing Benetton, you were saying, I really care about people in other countries. That's why I'm wearing this tube top. Peace on earth is at hand because of my espadrilles. On the other hand, girls, if you want to get laid, buy Esprit.
I love 81.
Coming up.
Enough this mess!
Fun with abusive parenting.
I feared her, yet wanted to become her.
Plus, Perseus, Medusa, and Bubo come to life in Clash of the Titans.
This movie serves as a reminder to everyone. Be grateful for computer animation.
And Ronald Reagan's secret weapon.
Everybody likes jelly beans, don't they?
Magic jelly beans with mind control in them.
Next on I Love the 80s Strikes Back, 1981. But first, this public service announcement.
The biggest decision a young person makes about alcohol isn't what to drink. It's how to deal with the choices. You can drink safely and moderately. You can let alcohol hurt you, or you can choose not to drink at all. It's up to you. But learn the facts. It's only fair to give yourself a chance to think before you drink. This booklet has some important information. For a free copy, write the Will Rogers Institute, White Plains, New York.
Nerds of 1981.
What's happening, hot stuff? Gary Watanabe here, bringing you the nerds of 1981. Prince Charles, Windsor Royal nerd. Rick Ocasek, nerd with a very large Adam's apple. And Bill Gates, the nerd to end all nerds. The nerds of 1981. Trust me, the donger knows.
Excuse me, Governor. I'd like to introduce...
Juice. Oh, this man needs no introduction. I know the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Benson, man. Come on, man. The Black Butler. That was my boy.
This is Benson.
Benson. Reverend Benson Jackson?
Benson, yes, that show was really groundbreaking.
You're serious, aren't you?
Robert Guillaume was the first black male lead of a truly show. And that meant a lot to me as a black entertainer who likes
You get the wise-ass black butler who's working for the rich whiteys. And, you know, of course, there's a vat of comedy to cull from there.
You think I'm a terrible governor, don't you, Benson?
Well, I can't say, sir. I haven't seen you governor.
You think I'm an idiot?
That I've seen.
Because this show wanted to uplift a black man, they made him lieutenant governor because he was running the place anyway.
Well, she summed it up pretty well.
There was the one dude that used to antagonize Benson all the time. He was like kind of gay-like, but not gay.
I've never been one of the guys
Well, you're not one of the girls.
The interaction between Benson and the kid was great.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
That was Tracy Gold, if I'm not mistaken.
My sister and I both went up for Benson, and then my sister ended up getting it.
Oh, Benson was surprised to see me.
Horribly.
Benson had a difficult relationship with the German maid.
Krause, if you have something to say it out loud.
Put it in a sock, Benson.
I think her anger was due to lack of booty. She needed some tapping in the lap.
Was there some chemistry between Gretchen and Benson? Oh, yeah. Did they ever act on it? They couldn't. Why? We weren't ready for that kind of love in 1981.
You really want to know that to be totally compatible with Ronald Reagan, what whoever it is will really need is to love jelly beans.
The two most important things that Reagan did as president were to defeat communism and to boost the sale of jelly beans.
Where's my jelly beans, Ron? Huh? Everybody wanted jelly bellies after Reagan said he liked them.
The president was carrying a jar of jelly beans in his left hand.
Nancy and I always enjoy jelly beans.
Everybody likes jelly beans, don't they?
He probably thought they were brain pills or something.
Magic jelly beans with mind control in them. I don't know about the economy, but I do know jelly beans are good.
I wouldn't want you to run out of steam.
They were trying to say, oh, he's just like you. He eats jelly beans and sells arms for hostages.
You must take ICBMs out of West Germany now!
Oh, whoa. Calm down, Brezhnev. Here, have some jelly beans.
Hey.
Hey, aren't these cute? I'll take these.
These are jellies, and amazingly enough as it is, we wore these.
I'll take them both. Oh, not this time. They're mine. They're mine.
Ooh, yes, jelly shoes. That was one trend that I wore out.
Let's get a man-made plastic that's never going to leave the earth and make shoes. But you know what? They were selling like hotcakes.
The girls, they rock these hardcore.
You can rock them casually, or you can rock them dressed up.
Don't you think they are really beautiful? They are probably the biggest hit ever.
I was a big fan of jelly shoes.
They were hot. Look at them.
They had them in every color. They had the neon pink, the pearl white, the clear. I had flats. I had open toe, I had closed toe, I had bumps.
If they made them for men, I would only wear marmalade or preserves shoes. Jelly's kind of low end. Doesn't even have real fruit in it.
I mean, everything goes with jelly shoes. I wear them every day.
I wear a peach polo shirt, and I would probably wear some Gloria Vanderbilts, and then my jellies. Okay, all I have to say about jellies is two things: sweaty feet and blisters. But look at the fashion statement you were making.
A titan against a titan!
Clash of the Titans was Greek mythology at its highest.
In times of yore, a Greek hero goes out to slay Medusa to win the hand of Andromeda, or as you Americans would say, Andromeda.
It's all Greek to me.
My name is Perseus. I am heir to the kingdom of Argos.
Harry Hamlin is the hero of Clash of the Titans.
He was a good-looking guy, really built.
A young man, not plump, but well-made.
He's supported by the entire Royal Shakespeare Company.
Maggie Smith, Laurence Olivier.
Show pity. Impossible.
Wonder how they got them to do that.
Laurence Olivier was about 90, and he had given up being a respectable actor. And he said, just give me anything. I don't care. What, do they pay me? I'll take it.
How dare the tyrant pray to me to forgive his savage jealousy?
There was an owl, a robotic owl that flew around.
It's flying straight for us.
It's a wind-up owl. It'll warn you of danger.
He went,
Do you understand all those clicks and wheezes?
I don't speak Bilbo, Boobo, whatever his name was.
His name is Boobo.
I was scared shitless when that Medusa part was going on.
She was part snake, part human.
You look at her, you freeze up into stone.
The thought always occurred to me, if staring at Medusa turns you into stone, why aren't we in the audience stone? I mean, I got a little hard, but I certainly didn't turn to stone.
There's so much crazy stuff in that movie.
You're just caught up in the cheap blue screening effect where they would really stand in front of a screen that was playing the movie, and it was like you were fighting a picture.
I was like, what the hell is this? They didn't even try to hide the fact that it was claymation.
You just don't get effects like that these days.
The best part in that whole movie, though, is the part where Perseus comes back with the head of Medusa and shows it to the Kraken, and the Kraken turns to stone. And then he goes, "Look, guys, I got the head of Medusa." And they all, "Guys, come on. What's the deal?"
This movie serves as a reminder to everyone. Be grateful for computer animation.
Stoked. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon and Garfunkel.
Their reunion party, that was a hell of a party they had.
Getting back together in Central Park with all those people there to witness it live was very important.
500,000 people went to go see that show.
You're waiting there all day, and then they come out, and then they launch into, "Are you going to sky?" Nobody rocks like Simon and Garfunkel.
Let's kick a little Sounds of Silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Wait, no, you did the upper part. It's a train wreck.
I don't know what the cause of their breakup was, but hey, yeah, sing Mrs. Robinson.
God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson.
All artists who work together for longer than 10 summers hate each other. It's written in the Bible somewhere.
When they went to Central Park, it was like, yeah, it's going to work. They're going to stay together again. And that was it. Central Park was over, and that was over.
That was the voice behind Art Garfunkel. He was just the sex symbol.
When you're weary and feeling small.
Just having them on the same stage was amazing.
They were the nitro and glycerin. You know, they needed each other to be explosive.
They are the troubled waters, and Central Park was the bridge.
Coming up, the scene that changed the dry cleaning industry as we know it.
No more hangers!
No wire hangers ever!
Mommy Dearest, next on I Love the 80s Strikes Back, 1981. But first, the what the moment of 1981.
The USDA, as part of a plan to cut school lunch programs by $1 billion, attempted to classify ketchup as a school lunch vegetable. Now, I like ketchup as much as the next guy, but hey, USDA, what the I am not one of your fans!
Mommy Dearest is a revenge story. Joan Crawford's daughter grew up and finally went, "I'm going to tell everybody what a psycho bitch you are."
Mommy Dearest was something I think that spoke to the inner psychotic actress in me.
Joan Crawford? No, it's Faye Dunaway.
I thought that Faye Dunaway was Joan Crawford.
There are, I think, in me, some tendencies.
Now I see Faye Dunaway and I go, child abuser.
I fear for her kids, especially during the making of that, you know. Mommy needs to work on her lines.
The more that Joan Crawford got in that film, the sexier I found her.
I feared her, yet wanted to become her.
Don't with me, fellas! This ain't my first time at the rodeo.
Oh, yeah, she's gonna mess with people up.
The only time that I wanted to watch it because I wanted to see her snap.
Tina! Bring me the axe!
She literally loses her lid.
King of Cuckoo Land.
She was really into cleanliness.
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the dirt.
Why was Joan Crawford nuts? Gee, Alex, I'm going to have to go with chemical imbalance for 200.
Crazy. I remember vividly the powdered bathroom cleaner scene.
Sturdy. Stealthy, Christina.
Clean up this mess!
Mommy Dearest did for Comet what Psycho did for showers.
One of the lessons we learned is don't use wire hangers. Period.
What's this? What's this?
No more hangers!
No more wire hangers ever!
I told you, no wire hangers ever!
was whooping her with the wire hanger.
There's nothing like a wire hanger across the ass.
I sympathize with Joan Crawford. If I go to the cleaners and I'm handed my shirts on wire hangers, I will admonish the people that work there and say, no wire hangers. But they're Korean, so they don't understand what I'm saying.
I'd be more afraid of the eyebrows than the hangers.
Holy moly. Those things could cut butter.
I'd be afraid she'd take one of her eyebrows off and beat you with it, like a boomerang.
I wish I had eyebrows like that. Then I'd be a gay icon.
I love all of you.
That movie was fascinating in so many ways, and I think to look at now, it is over the top, but I still think it's a good one. Jeez.